My name is Gregg Small. I'm the Executive Director of Climate Solutions, and I'm really thrilled to talk to you for a few minutes about where Climate Solutions is heading. 2 years ago, I think many of you were here, and I, on this same stage, shared the vision of Climate Solutions. And that vision was our belief that the most important leadership opportunity for the Northwest to make an impact nationally and globally was to have the Northwest be the first region in the country to be 100% clean. 100% clean electricity, and electrify everything we can as fast as we can, excuse me, and transition those that we can't from fossil fuels to cleaner fuels as fast as we possibly can. That is the guiding vision that animates all of the work that we do at Climate Solutions, and I can't tell you how excited I am about that vision. I'm really thrilled to say that the foundation for that vision and the path to that success is much stronger today than we could have ever imagined 2 years ago. So, like most of you this morning, woke up way too early, so I left this morning before our newspaper arrived at our door. And so I came downtown. I had to stop at the office for a second, and I was, walking the 4 blocks or so from my office to here, and I saw the Seattle Times headlines. Clean power is now the law. And I mean, something unexpected happened as I was walking. I stop at the Starbucks, I buy it, and I broke down in tears walking from, these 3 or 4 blocks, just kind of overcome by the emotion of the success and the day yesterday with the governor signing the bill, which we'll talk about in a minute. But to have, it was very powerful, and it was unexpected that I was overcome those types of emotions. But the fact is, this year in Washington State was a historic year. This was the most successful year in the history of Washington on climate and clean energy. All of us, please give all of us a round of applause for doing that. A lot of bills happened. Clean buildings, green transportation, a lot of great bills, but I think everyone knows the centerpiece was the 100% clean electricity bill. We're now the 4th nation in the country, joining hundreds of other cities that have made this commitment. But it's not just any bill, this bill. As my favorite writer, one of my favorite writers on climate and clean energy, David Roberts with Vox, said, it's the best of the bunch. I mean, this is something we really should be incredibly proud of that is passed right now. But that progress and the progress that we made in the state only tells part of the story of what's happening here in the Northwest. In Oregon, where Climate Solutions also works, we're on the precipice of passing one of the most significant climate policies in that state's history, the Clean Energy Jobs Act, which when it passes in the next month or 2 will put a cap on carbon pollution and invest that money generated in clean energy solutions in the communities most impacted. Amazing, that's going to happen in the next couple months. At the local level, so many great things are happening. I just want to highlight 2. Our 2 biggest regional transit agencies, King County Metro here, Portland TriMet down near Portland. They've made commitments to transition to 100% clean electric buses. I believe Dow Constantine, King County Executive Dow Constantine, many of his staff are here. I want to thank Dow and everyone at King County for all they're doing on climate in general and specifically around transportation, electrification, and clean buses. Thank you, Dow, and everybody else. These successes did not happen by accident. They happened because of hard work and skill from a lot of people, including many people in this room. How many people here in this room have done something, written a check, made a phone call, voted on the bill, did something in the last 6 months to make progress on the bills that have passed in Washington State? It's very hard for me to see. I'm assuming a lot of hands are up. Thank you to everybody. Appreciate it. So we're making progress right now because of all of us in the room, but for lots of other reasons. We're making progress because, as Ash referenced, a lot of people in the business community, they're making commitments to 100% clean energy. They are shifting markets, and they're developing the innovative technology that's going to make it cheaper and more affordable for everyone to have access to solutions. It's because a wide range of organizations, climate, community of color, labor, public health, and so many more, as I think many of you know, are working more closely together than we ever have before. The next point is really important. We're making progress because thousands of people knocked on doors to help elect pro-climate state legislators and local elected officials. Elections matter. Elections matter. And it's what happens after elections that also matters. And I'd like to call out a couple of legislators who particularly made a difference. And if you could just hold your applause till the end, that'd be great. There's so many, but I want to name a few. Representative Gail Tarleton, who's worked on 100% clean electricity for years. Senator Reuven Carlisle, the lead sponsor of the 100% clean electricity bill. Representative Jake Fye, who led the green transportation package that our featured speaker, who you'll hear from in a few minutes, shepherded through the Senate. Representative Joe Fitzgibbon, my goodness, I could go on and on for what Joe did on clean fuel standard, the prohibition of the super pollutants. Joe was amazing. Our very own Representative Beth Dolio, she helped to lead the successful charge to pass the clean buildings legislation. The entire freshman class of the legislature, which brought amazing energy and passion and commitment to climate change. My goodness. And last but not least, this woman right here, Trudy Inslee. Jay wanted to be here as well. He was in a memorial, but as everyone in this room knows, from the moment Jay stepped into the governor's mansion and for decades before that, he's been committed to working on this issue. Legislators, Governor Inslee, Trudy, you stepped up this year. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm hopeful. Our region is really paving the way, but I also want to just share something else with folks. I'm scared. I'm scared about what we're already seeing happening as a result of climate change. I am scared about the models showing what's going to happen. You know, I'm by nature an optimist. People who know me, I'm by nature an optimist. Our organization, by orientation, is forward-looking and positive. We spend most of our time and energy in the solution space, like that's where we like to be. And in general, I don't prioritize looking at climate studies. I pay attention to them, but I like to spend most of my time focusing on the things that I can do something about. But every once in a while, I step back and I ground myself in climate science. And a few months ago, I read a book that many of you may have heard about or read. It's called The Uninhabitable Earth by David Wallace Wells. And reading it rocked me to my core, because what it made me realize is even that somebody like me, right? I've been the executive director of a climate organization for more than a decade, and even I'm in climate denial. Even I'm in denial of the scale, of the scope of solutions that we need to push forward now. I'm scared, and I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels this emotion, so yes, this is in time of unbelievable celebration. I told many people I saw today, there aren't many days like yesterday. There aren't many days like yesterday. But we have to put it in the context of the climate crisis that is before us, and we have to keep putting one foot in front of the other. So I have to wrap up, and I'll be a little shorter on what's next than I would like to be. But I thought it was important to make sure we did spend some time just acknowledging the situation we're in. So anyways, all of this makes me think very hard about what's next and what's most important. And when we look at what we think's the most important thing for us to be doing in our little corner of the world, it's pretty clear. It's transportation, right? Transportation is where we need to focus our energy right now. It's for my money, it's the hardest problem to solve, right? It's the hardest problem on the climate area to solve. It is the single largest source of emissions in the Northwest. It's about 40%. That's a lot. Economically competitive solutions, they're coming close, and they're getting here faster than I think many of us think, but we're not quite there yet. The power of the oil industry is vast. We all saw that in force recently in November when the oil industry spent over $31 million to defeat Initiative 1631. We can do this. So Climate Solutions is incredibly excited. We're about to kick off a multi-year campaign whose goal is nothing short to have the Northwest have the best transportation system in the nation. One that is clean, one that's affordable, one that's equitable, one that's safe. That's what we aim to do. And there are a lot of components to that. And I'm going to cut myself short a little bit and have to say, you'll hear from me soon about what some of those details are. But it's got to be everything. We got to reduce our reliance on cars and make sure that the cars that we still have are either zero-emission vehicles or electric vehicles. That's where we need to go. We need a comprehensive vision for transportation. That's where we're going right now. Today is a day of celebration. Today is a day to celebrate and acknowledge how much more work we need to do. And today is a day for us to move forward into the next step, which is taking on transportation.